take my spotlight, girl.
You ready?
Okay.
Yes, we did catch that a little bit on camera. I like to throw. You're being natural. This is what it's about, right, ladies?
That's funny.
In part one, we had a chance to get to know the ladies, some of their opinions on art, how they, how they got started. Okay, part two. Now, this is going back 10 to 12 years ago. I personally was into 3D graphics design, and this is back when digital art, the tablets, the touchscreens first started becoming popular with the Wacom tablets. And I remember even in 3D graphics design, a debate between traditional art versus digital art. So, and one of the subjects of debate was, okay, if you're doing something on now a standard tablet, where you literally have limitless brushes, you have everything at your fingertips, versus a traditional artist who doesn't. Obviously, I'm sure you ladies have heard, okay, not talent versus learning a piece of Photoshop, Paint, whatever. Since you ladies each of you ladies do, one does traditional, one does digital. We're actually going to do a little miniature, very friendly. This is just for the audience, very friendly. Trust me, you have to be careful in today's world. A very friendly debate with the ladies as far as in discussion as far as the differences and similarities between the two, and as far as possibly digital being the evolution of traditional, especially going into the future with the virtual world, etc. So, ladies, I'm going to keep the questions to a minimum. I'm just going to let you two just have a nice little discussion. But each of you ladies, your thoughts on digital. We're going to start this with digital versus the traditional. And by traditional, pen and paper, paintbrush and canvas, etc., versus a pen and tablet, whatever. So I'm going to let your thoughts on the digital versus traditional.
Well, for me, I'm a traditional, so I feel like the traditional art is more like you can touch, you can feel, you just like put paint on your hands, and more like hands-on, where it's just like digital, it's just you're working on a screen, and I can't be in front of a computer or a screen. It's just, no. I'd rather just have a canvas, paintbrush, hand motion, all that. I like the motion I do in my body and stuff, but that's just my opinion.
Okay, so my preference for digital art comes from the fact that I've worked with traditional media before in the past, and then when I was later introduced into digital media, I realized that there's like a lot of things different. Of course, one of the things that I find different is that you do have those limitless color schemes that you can find wherever on the internet, whereas when you have traditional art, you're only limited to what it's in your tube or what kind of paint you own. And as far as like using different brushes and materials to create the art, I think that's the same as like having like another what do you call it? A plug-in kit.
Okay.
It's like if a plug-in kit comes with like a spray can, a fan brush, and then like another soft brush that makes glares. That's kind of just like whatever art you're working with traditional media. You just get those things. Like let's say you have a set of brushes, fine brushes that you can detail with, and then you also have like a packet of fan brushes. Like, if you think of that, those are actually like plugins because you're adding to your collection of brushes as you go.
I feel like digital art is art can be expensive, but depending on the materials and all, but digital, technology-wise, I just feel like it's just very pricey with all the materials. I just feel like sometimes they don't last long. Sometimes there might be an error. I'm very traditional. I grew up with just paper, pencil, drawing book, follow the steps. Like me with internet, not big time with that. You know more than me, that's for sure.
I disagree. I think the materials that you use for traditional art are more expensive.
Well, yeah,
Whereas
the
you
brushes
can
could be-
reproduce with digital art because there's one plain image that you have in a PDF. Whatever paper that you decide to print it off on, it can vary.
Yeah, but
But I
what
think-
about like you have to buy a MacBook, right? Because that's for more traditional, like for more of the art, like using Photoshop and all that.
Whether you have to buy a MacBook or not.
Because like, isn't a MacBook that's what it's made for? For just like graphic design specifically? Because my
Not
laptop,
really.
no. Oh, because I just thought like it has to be a MacBook because that's what they.
It doesn't have to be a MacBook, although I do think that Mac has a better platform
Macs-
than Windows when it comes to design.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So.
Other than that, yeah, I can see how the price of the computer would contribute to that.
Yeah.
But it's not like if you buy a MacBook, then despite the errors that you may have with like overloading with hard drives and whatnot, technology is tricky because it can short out on you at any time. So I guess traditional
Yeah. See,
is more reliable in that matter.
I mean,
But-
yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, once you get a MacBook, you're good for like 4 years.
Yeah, and they gotta buy a new one. It was like what, $1,000? Like, I'd rather bring a canvas, an easel, paint out there.
Like I said, you're supposed to have.
Where we at is a perfect place to paint.
Other way you look at it from personal experience, so other medium, and again, this is personal experience. You'd be surprised how fast the fire will destroy both. So, this is great. You ladies are doing fantastic on this.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not good with the whole debating stuff, but like.
Okay, it's
she's
not
really
a debate;
good
it's a
with the whole-
conversation.
Well, yeah, a conversation, but like you're really good with your technology. I'm really slow at learning. Like, I'm very traditional. I'm very old school.
And by the way, you cannot, just from personal experience, I actually have one on my tablet. You can actually have very decent paint program on your tablet. That the free version is excellent, by the way.
Yes,
Yeah,
I've heard.
I have Adobe. I can't think of the name of it, but it's not Adobe Photoshop Express. It's the other one I have. Excellent.
You don't have to spend $200 on it every year.
Or you don't have to have a college degree to learn Photoshop.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually,
That's
I
true.
know someone who's actually taking a class just learning how to use Photoshop.
Ew, why?
Oh, cause she's making a book, and she needs to learn how to use Photoshop. Like it's like one of her classes that she needs to take. It's like, but like,
I've tried. To me, as a steep learning curve, but that's my personal.
I mean,
To actually use the program, I don't think you need a college education, but to
I got
actually...
Crystal. Who needs college if I got her? I could just use her for the whole Photoshop class.
My services don't come free.
Girl, it is free for me. I'm your friend. Come on. You gotta help a friend
Hey,
out.
it's with business. It's called exchange of
Yeah.
services.
That's
If you ain't got business, then you're broke.
Trust me, if everybody can see how hard I'm cracking up.
Oh my god, this is a comedy here.
This is what it was supposed. This is what I did. What I was hoping you would turn into.
She's on the show.
Okay, moving on to the next question. I think.
I'm ready.
Hey!
I'm glad you two are. All right. So far, this is going along great. As far as I'm going to jump ahead right now. VR is becoming more and more true to form. VR is slowly becoming almost. It's within sight where it's going to be almost the standard. Okay.
As in VR, you mean virtual reality?
Yes, virtual
Yeah,
reality.
that's
I
what I'm
apologize.
saying. Yeah.
Virtual reality. You have I know the Alcatel 4 has the 3D, even has the 3D glasses now, VR glasses.
That looks fun.
Yeah, so as far as looking down the road, and I'm going to backtrack after this question, looking down the road, 50, 75, 100 years, I know it's difficult to think that far ahead, but do you see, even in all forms of art, especially with the 3D graphics design, the virtual reality, do you see it where eventually the digital will almost completely consume the traditional, or do you believe that the traditional, even say 100 years down the road, will still exist in certain forms, in certain aspects, because of the possibility of a difficulty to reproduce in the virtual, in the virtual world and in the digital world?
I think the whole traditional culture, it won't be completely diminished, but I think it's going to be less available by now. As my professor says, the future is now. Like, print media is dead.
That's just hard for me hearing that, because it's like I've always been so traditional, and it's like now, since this world is so revolved with technology and the technology is improving, I kind of need to step up my game and learn how to do what you're doing, more like working on the computer and stuff. But like, I don't know. I feel like maybe down the future we would use both, because I don't know, I just don't see it without, because I live on it for so long, and I would hate to see it just be gone. And
Yeah.
Well, here's another possible scenario. Would you ladies agree that maybe the traditional and the virtual could enhance one another, or could complement one another? Like yourself with the digital. Okay, you do a work of art, but yet you want to sell, let's just say, prints of it, or you don't want to let go of the original piece and you want to duplicate it, where you could possibly duplicate it digitally for her, and of course you both make money off it, So do you think that, in not necessarily an ideal, but a more ideal situation would be the virtual and the traditional complementing and enhancing each other versus competing with each other? Do you think that'd be more of a realistic possibility?
yeah,
Definitely, because I think 2D spaces definitely enhance 3D spaces, or most things that are like drawn on a flat piece of paper are then transferred into 3D. So I don't think that would ever disappear unless everybody just transfers into doing drafting with the Wacom tablet on a computer. Because I think most good ideas come from 2D
Okay.
spaces and graphites.
I also agree that traditional and digital should work together, because I feel like it makes it easier to actually sell your paintings, especially like printing making. I feel like it's a good help. Like, we work as a team, I think we would do very awesome, because she knows her digital, I know my traditional, and then I feel like just those two would work out perfectly. So, and actually, like, since technology is improving, I feel like it's easier to actually, instead of trying to make the paintings the same over and over again for many copies, you just go and print and make a copy from a copy or something.
Save a PDF, and
Yeah.
then just have it reproduce.
Yeah, I'm still learning that whole stuff, so I'm still taking my time on that.
Hey, I'm 46, and trust me, technology, every time you think you're caught up,
Oh,
you are so far behind.
Yeah.
By the time you think you get caught, am I correct? By the time you think you get caught up with learning what, even in a specific area, by the time you think you're caught up, you're still behind.
yeah.
For example, the Facebook post, I think they had the run, but I don't think it actually picked up. I think it has something to do with VR. It's whenever you go to a post, and I think it takes several pictures or several frames of the entire space that it's supposed to be in, and then it interacts with your phone too. So as soon as like you're moving your camera, you're seeing everything that's in the room, like the 3D posting.
Right. You're talking about like the 360.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I haven't tried that yet. If the, with photography, I've done excellent panoramas, but if I do a 360, I just switch over to video and do, it's, it's so much easier to do it that way for myself than, but
Did it pick up? Because
I don't think it did. I don't see that much of it. Honestly, I see it, but it didn't catch fire the way a lot of people were probably hoping for.
That's another thing in this age. Now I notice that trends come and go when they used to stay around for a while, but now.
You are correct. Do you see? Well, speaking of trends, do you even in art there's trends, there's fads, etc. Even in all the different areas of traditional art. Do you see that happening where things like even styles where, forgive me, I know two types, realism and abstractionism, that's it, but even the different styles of art, do you see them fading in and out faster in today's world versus possibly even say 5-10 years ago, or in the traditional world, or are they sticking around longer in the traditional world?
I think more in the traditional. I mean, I'm an abstract painter, so I'm still learning about the different types of paintings and stuff like that. I'm taking art history, so yeah, I still think it's traditional.
So they're sticking around longer in the traditional versus the digital then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. There's different forms. Like, for instance, this one form, airbrush art or spray paint art.
Spray paint. Yeah.
Right.
You notice that these trends, even though that I said some trends come and go,
Yeah.
it's always a random thing that always picks up. Like, as soon as you think something popular is going to be around for a while, it doesn't really stick, but then it's always something random. Like, another trend would, the spray painting trend.
Yeah, that was very popular. I saw
It's
that.
surrealist art and then just
Essentially street art.
Street art, yeah. I saw that in a lot of countries. They were really big about that spray paint. I don't know if you've seen the video, but this guy, he has
it's a specific type of art. It's always a peculiar landscape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
the space or something. Very
It's always space themed.
fantasy. It's really cool.
I've taken notice that's becoming very popular down in Philadelphia now. I follow a lot of Philadelphia, and even
Cities.
South Bethlehem's trying to duplicate that now too with the street art. Now it's not called street art; it's called murals now. So yeah, I did take notice that's becoming more and more. That's actually picking up, and you never thought that it really would.
Although I appreciate that style of art, I also think it's a shame that with most trends, when artists find trends, they usually just stick to that one trend. Like the fantasy landscape thing, everybody's doing that, so then you barely see flexibility for originality.
This is popular, and I feel
Because
artists,
it's popular.
yeah, artists is trying to find what's popular now, and they're trying to get into that
business.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they can get business.
It's
but
whatever's selling.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I feel it's
But then that sacrifices your true art.
yeah. You should do what you're doing and just kind of because I've been trying to do a lot of motivation paintings and stuff to help myself, and also good visual for someone else who is struggling or anything. And I try to not do what other artists are doing. I try to do it in my own style, my own way, but it's really hard because a lot of people are wanting a certain way or it's just certain type. It's I'm not changing that because that's my style. That's who I am. That's how it is.
And for the people that do commission you, they'll commission you, say, this is a different form of art, but music. For film scoring, they want a specific type of score for their film. And you try to do something different, but then in the end, when you send it back to them, and you send it back and forth because you're editing it, you start to edit it out, and then before you know it, it sounds like something out of every superhero film.
Right.
And now you can no longer tell the two artists apart because it's the same.
Yeah, or
Although that's what the people wanted to pay for, the person that commissioned you.
yeah, or like for an action flick, it sounds like the same score out of the Indiana Jones series, you know, that you have 20 years later. That, you know, so yeah, I'm sure a lot of people can understand that. Or if they actually pay attention, it's like, you know, I heard that thing 500 times now, but you know, someone's still getting paid. There were two notes in there. I swear we're different. You know, that whole thing.
I also feel that the music these days are very like similar. Like these artists, their music is very like very good back then, but now today it's like all pop and hip hop and that heavy beat and that drop beat and all. It's like
It's a specific
why?
sound that people
People
just
love
like.
doing. I love the sound of that, but like, why in every song, sometimes it doesn't sound right. Like, why you always have a rapper
A
with
mumble rapper.
Yeah.
yeah, like with a song that's like what like an artist who doesn't have who doesn't rap, but he just sings, and then there and he has the singing going on, and then you have a rapper. It's like no.
And then of course you have the sampling of other songs. You know, I'm not knocking rap or hip hop or anything. You know.
Yeah.
But and then of course you have sampling of other songs mixed in with that, which was very popular for a while. I think mercifully that died down. You know.
It's still around. People still sample.
Yeah, but not so much as it used to be, where it was like almost every hip hop song you would hear something out of a song from the 80s, 70s, 80s, or 90s, or even back to the 60s on almost every song for a while, you know, so
I think
thankfully...
they're
They take
using
the-
songs from the 2000s.
Sometimes they take the beat.
Ouch, I feel old. Born in 71, for you minute.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean.
I was
that to hit.
joking. I was joking. I hear songs I love when I grew up, that I grew up with, and they, you know, like I'll hear a song on the radio by Styx,
Oh, I
and
love
I still love the song, but I'm like, God, you know, so it's like, I'm like most people my age, I'm like, okay, thank God I love Daughtry and Three Doors Down, you know.
Yeah.
And how there's a remix for everything. Like
Yeah.
they can never
Yes.
stay the same.
That's what I'm
Like there's
saying.
always some underground producers like I can make mine's better. And
You want to
then-
make it better? Write the lyrics, get a band to do the music, mix it, then you'll do it better. You know, it's like, I mean, you know, you can take the, from what I was told, Garage Band on the Mac and basically do anything you want with it.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's like digital art and well, music or like
'Cause you're cutting and pasting.
yeah,
And
you're
warming.
designing.
Yeah.
I worked for an AM radio station back in the '90s, and one of the producers of one of the FM stations was teaching me production, you know, to make commercials. Back then it was the reel to reel, and you had to do everything by ear, not watch the wave sound, not watch the graph and everything. You had to do everything by ear back then. So yeah, that was. Now it's like even if I feel like doing it now, I still do everything by ear because you just acquire the natural talent.
That's
Good
one for
talent.
digital.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, we're gonna take another quick break just because I don't want people to go, you know, not that they'll get bored, but you know, time and everything. Then there's gonna be one final statement. This one I will tell you ahead of time. I end every interview with advice to other artists, you know, etc. Your advice as far, especially since you ladies are going to school, you know, some of the challenges, you know, and advice you would give to other artists, even, you know, people are 65 and retired, and you know, hey, you know, I've always wanted to try this. You know, remember at the time between the family and the job, I went, you know, from kids in grade school on, you know, on up. You know, we're gonna end part 3 with that. Sound good, ladies? You still having fun?